بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this weekly Tajweed class through which we want to learn how to recite the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the right way, with the proper way, the way that our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to recite and used to teach his companions ridwanullahi alayhim. And actually in our classes we are inshallah dividing every class in three parts. The first part is a Tajweed lesson, Theoretical Tajweed lesson, and the second part will be reciting and fixing the mistake on one surah. And we have started from the smallest surah in the Quran, starting from Al-Fatiha, then An-Nas, Al-Falaq, and we are going backward. And the last part, of course, is to receive your participation and your recitation, and we try to correct the mistakes, insha'Allah ta'ala. So let's start our lesson of today, starting with, of course, the Tajweed lesson. Tajweed lesson. During the few previous classes, so we were talking about أحكام النون الساكنة والتنوين, the rules of النون الساكنة and التنوين, and we have seen that the rule of النون الساكنة and التنوين depends on the letter that coming after that, and depending of this letter we have four rules, four categories of letters to implement four rules in Tanween and An-Nun As-Sakina. And we said that the first rule is Al-Izhar. We are reviewing now. So we have the first one is Al-Izhar, which means clarity, to clear the Nun As-Sakina or a Tanween whenever we have Nun Sakina or Tanween followed by one of the 6 letters of the throat. The 6 letters, Huruf al-Halq as-Sittah, which are Hamzun Ha'u, Aynun Ha'u, Ghaynun Kha'u. Whenever we have one of them, so we implement al-Izhar. Then the second rule, we said that it is al-Idgham. Al-Idgham comes with 6 letters as well, which are Yarmulun, Yarmulun, Al-Ya, Al-Ra, Al-Mim, Al-Lam, Wal-Waw, Wal-Nun. 6 letters. Whenever we have these 6 letters, we implement Al-Idgham. Al-Idgham, which means to merge An-Nun Sakina or At-Tanween in the following letter. And in this idgham, we have 2 kinds of idgham. One of them is idgham bi ghunnah, idgham to merge and to implement a nasal sound, to have a nasal sound, to have ghunnah, long ghunnah, along with al-idgham, which are the 4 letters of idgham bi ghunnah are yanmu, al-ya, al-nun, al-mim, wal-waw, and the rest of the letters, which are al-lam and al-ra. So we implement al-idgham bi ghayri ghunnah, to merge without applying any ghunnah. The third rule, we said, comes with only one single letter, which is al-mim, which is al-ba'. So whenever we have ba after An-Nun As-Sakina or At-Tanween, we implement Al-Iqlab. Al-Iqlab or Al-Qalb is to change or to switch the sound of the Nun As-Sakina or At-Tanween into Mim. So instead of pronouncing noon or tanween, so we are pronouncing meme. Whenever we have ba after noon sakina or a tanween, of course, we have to make ghunna along with al-iqlab as well. And today, inshallah, we are talking about the last rule, the fourth rule of al-noon al-sakina and al-tanween, which is al-ikhfa. You see on the screen, we have the fourth rule is al-ikhfa. Ikhfa means to hide something, and tukhfi shay is al-ikhfa, to hide. And the meaning here is to hide the sound of noon. We don't pronounce noon. We don't merge noon in the following letter. We don't change the sound of noon to meme like we have in iqlab. Here we hide the sound of a noon sakina or a tanween. And the letters of ikhfa, of course, they are any letter other than the letters of izhar, iqlab, and idgham. So the rest of the alphabetic letters, Arabic letters, we implement with them al-ikhfa. So we have al-izhar 6 and al-iqlab 1, 7, plus al-idgham 6. So we have 13 letters. The rest, of course, in the alphabetic letters in Arabic, we have 28. So 28 minus 13, we have 15 letters. The rest of the letters which are here, 15 letters, we implement with them what we call al-ikhfa. Al-ikhfa. Huruf al-ikhfa, of course, here in the screen you find it. التاء الثاء الجيم الدال الذال الزاي السين الشين الصاد الضاد الطاء الظاء الفاء القاف and الكاف. So Al-Imam Al-Jamzuri rahmatullahi alayhi, he put these 15 letters in his poem, of course, in these أبيات. صف ذا ثنا كم جاد شخص قد سما دم طيبا زد في تقى ضع ظالما. So every letter of the first letter of each word is the letter of ikhfa. So it is a way to make it easy to memorize these letters of ikhfa. But the easiest way, of course, is to memorize the other letters. To memorize the letters of idhar, hamzun ha'u, aynun ha'u, ghaynun kha'u, and to memorize the letters of iqlab, which is al-ba, and then to memorize the letters of idgham, merging, which are yarmulun. So if we memorize that, other than these letters, if it is not izhar, it is not iqlab, it is not idgham, so it is ikhfa. The rest of the letters, we implement with them al-ikhfa. Now, method of pronunciation. How to pronounce al-ikhfa? What is the technical way to pronounce al-ikhfa? Actually, al-ikhfa, many people, they are making too many different mistakes when they implement al-ikhfa. So if any letter other than the letters of izhar, iqlab, or idgham follows noon, sakin, or at-tanween, the reciter should hide the noon sakina and make ghunna. This is a ta'rif. This is the basic thing, is to hide the noon sakina or at-tanween and to make ghunna along with that. Of course, now how to do that? The practical way is to put our tongue near or close to the letter, the next letter, the letter that coming after النون الساكنة or التنوين. We make our tongue very close to this letter. And we make غنة along with that. This is the technical way. In other words, we prepare our mouth, our tongue to pronounce the following letter. To prepare our mouth to pronounce this letter. So here he said, if the nun sakina or a tanween is followed by a heavy letter, خص ضغط قذ. Of course, we know now حروف الاستعلاء السبعة, 7 letters of استعلاء, خص ضغط قذ. The sound of غنة should also be heavy. If the nun sakina or a tanween is followed by a light letter, the sound of غنة should also be light. Here, in other words, that the sound of a nun sakina or a tanween follows the next letter or the following letter in terms of tafkhim and the tarqiq. If the following letter is mufakham, so the ghunna or the al-ikhfa wal-ghunna should be mufakham, should be heavy. If not, so the ghunna and al-ikhfa should be light. This is the meaning of that al-ikhfa yatba'u ma ba'dahu. So al-ikhfa should follow the next letter in terms of tafkhim and tarqiq. Sign in the Quran, of course, nun sakina, when we implement ikhfa, it should be written like this in the mushaf without any sukun on it, without anything. It is only nun without anything on it. If it is tanween, al-fath, so the two fatha are one after the other. One is following the other. And the same thing if it is tanween al-kasr or a tanween al-dam. This is the sign to know when we are applying the ikhfa in the Quran. In order to pronounce the ikhfa correctly, place your tongue at the point of articulation of the ikhfa letter and pronounce the ghunna. So here it is slightly wrong. Okay, this sentence is slightly wrong. So in order to pronounce the ikhfa correctly, place your tongue at the point of the articulation. No, we don't place our tongue exactly in the point of articulation of the following letter. What we do, we put our tongue very close to the next letter, but not on the articulation point of the ikhfa, except only with two letters which are al-qaf and al-kaf. Al-qaf and al-kaf, we put our tongue exactly in the articulation point of this letter, al-qaf and al-kaf. Other than that, we make our tongue very close to the articulation point of this letter, but not on the articulation point of the letter. So let's have some examples to clarify and to be clear to the practically how to pronounce al-ikhfa or in at-tanween and the nun as-sakina. We have some examples in every letter, of course. We are, inshallah, training in every letter with nun sakina and then with tanween. Try to focus and try to recite along with me, after me, and try to listen carefully, inshallah. So with that, لن تغني, لن تغني. So I'm not pronouncing noon. I'm not saying لن تغني. This is a mistake, a major mistake. We don't pronounce لن. This is noon. We don't pronounce noon. We are hiding noon. We are preparing our mouth to pronounce a ta, not noon. So what we should do, we should make our tongue, put our tongue close to a ta, to makhraj a ta, to the articulation point of ta. So we have to say لن تغني, لن تغني. Of course, we have غنة. We have غنة along with al-ikhfa. لن, you see, لن, the sound is coming, part of the sound is coming from the nose, and the other part is coming out from the mouth. The other example, جنات تجري, جنات تجري. الثانى منثورا. Try to say it along with me. It's very important. These things cannot be fixed, cannot be taught except when you listen it from a Shaykh, from a teacher. So even if we have this theoretical lesson, but the practical way is to listen, of course, and then to recite to someone knowledgeable about these things. منثورا يوما ثقيلا. You see how I'm preparing a th. يوما th. You can feel that I am preparing my mouth to pronounce a th. منثورا. The same thing with the عند. قنوان دانية, قنوان دانية. الذال now, لينذر. You see, I'm preparing ذال. عزيز ذو انتقام. السين الإنسان. Be careful, we don't pronounce النون. We don't say الإنسان. This is إظهار. This is the first rule that we have seen. And now we don't have إظهار, so we have to make إخفاء. الإنسان بشرا سويا. With شين يكن شيئا. عذاب شديد. With صاد ينصركم. ينصركم. You see here, the sound, of course, of الإخفاء is following the next letter in terms of ترقيق and تفخيم. We said that. Now here, الصاد is among the heavy letters, among حروف الاستعلاء خص ضغط قذ. So here the noon should follow this استعلاء. We say ينصركم. You see how النون الإخفاء is, I'm making it heavy. ينصركم. I didn't say ينصركم. You see, الإنسان, I said it light, but here we have to say it heavy. ينصركم بريح صرصر. بريح صرصر. This is the practical way, the real meaning of that. The sound of الإخفاء should follow the following letter in terms of إخفاء and ترقيق, ترقيق and تفخيم. الطاء now, من طيبات. من طاء. The same thing, طاء is heavy letter. صعيدا طيبا. We don't say صعيدا طيبا. You see? صعيدا طيبا. الظاء تنظرون. The same thing. قوم ظلموا. قوم ظلموا. الفاء والمنفقين. You see how I'm preparing my mouth to pronounce الفاء. شيء في. القاف وينقلب. فضة قدروها. الكاف لدنك. Here we put our ulama, our scholars, they said whenever we pronounce al-ikhfa with kaf and qaf, al-ikhfa that is followed by kaf or qaf, here we put our tongue exactly on the articulation point of al-qaf or al-kaf. So here we put our tongue as if as we pronouncing al-kaf. لدنك كأس كان كأس كان. الزاي وأنزل يومئذ زرقا. الجيم فأنجيناكم فصبر جميل. It's very important to repeat along with me. It's very important to practice these rules. الضاد من ضريع من ضريع. مسفرة ضاحكة. I think we are done with examples. Important points now. Some points we have to highlight it here. The first point, avoid placing the tongue at the point of articulation of the noon while pronouncing the gunna. The reciter should place his tongue at the point of articulation of the ikhfa letter. Of course, close to the articulation point, not exactly on it, except qaf and kaf. But the first sentence, avoid placing the tongue at the point of articulation of the noon, because if we do that, if we do so, we have what we call izhar. This is the ta'rif, the meaning of al-izhar is to place the tongue exactly at the point of articulation of the noon, like man amana. This is a common mistake that many of the people they are committing it, which is whenever they have ikhfa, they put their tongue on the noon and they are making gunna. For example, instead of saying al-insan like this, they say al-insan. Al-insan. They are clarifying a noon. They are pronouncing noon, 100% noon, but the only thing that they are doing is to make a long gunna along with that. This is a mistake. The second point, avoid prolonging the haraka of the letter before the noon as in minkum ankum. So the mistake is to say minkum, minkum, ankum. So we are prolonging the sound of the vowel here. The vowel here is a short vowel. We don't say ankum as if as we are adding a mad before al-ikhfa. So this is a mistake that we have to avoid. The reciter should avoid prolonging the kasra or the fatha or in these examples. The third point, when the letter before the noon sakina has dhamma, the reciter should make the ghunnah in the state of sukoon without making dhamma. The meaning, النون الساكنة here, even if we are applying إخفاء on it. Yes, we are applying إخفاء, but still, what is the حركة, the vowel of the noon? It is ساكنة. It is ساكنة. So here, what it is saying here is to avoid saying كنتم like this. You know that whenever we pronounce al-dhamma, here we have kaf with dhamma on it, so we have to say ku. This circle mouth that we make when we pronounce ku should not be when we pronounce a noon, a sakina, because a noon is sakin, is not dhamma. This shape, this circle that we we circle our mouth only when we have dhamma or waw. Two cases in the Quran that we have to circle our mouth. Only whenever we have dhamma or whenever we are pronouncing waw. Wa. Regardless, it's haraka. Regardless, it is madmuma or maftuha or sakina or maksura. So other than that, we don't circle our mouth in any place in the Quran except these two cases. So here we have ku. Yes, we have to circle our mouth, but after that, right after that, we have to make our mouth in the standard state of sukun. We don't circle it. We don't say kuntum. So the correct way, listen to me and try to watch, to look at me. Kuntum. This is the right way. Kun. You see a non sakina, so I went back to the regular state. Kuntum. 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 This is the mistake that it is said here. The fourth point, the ghunna should be heavy if nun sakina or a tanween is followed by a heavy letter, and it should be light if nun sakina or tanween is followed by a light letter, and we have said that. So al-ikhfa is always, all the time following the next letter in terms of tafkhim and at-tarqiq. By this, we are done with this big lesson and this important lesson of Nun, Sakina, and Tanween. Actually, this chapter is very, very important in قراءة Al-Quran Al-Kareem, and this rule, unlike other rules in Tajweed rules that are the same in Arabic language. We have some letters in the Quran, some rules, I mean, in the Quran that are the same, that are shared in Arabic language. We have the same, like al-makharij, like al-sifat, like some of the rule. We implement them even in any other Arabic text. But some of them, they are specific in the Quran, like al-mudud, like here, our chapter of Nun Sakina or Tanween. This is something that differentiates Al-Quran from any other Arabic text. So now we go back, inshallah, to our lesson, to our surah of today. Our surah, inshallah, is Surah Al-Ma'un. Surah Al-Ma'un. Surah أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين. So before we start reciting the surah, of course, let's have a few words about this surah, or the meaning, the general meaning of this surah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this surah, أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين. Have you seen the one who denies the final judgment? يكذب بالدين. الدين here, al-ulama, they said it could be the religion and it could be the final judgment, like مالك يوم الدين. فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم. For that is the one who drives away the orphan. Who drives away the orphan, meaning he is the one who oppresses the orphan and does not give him his just due. He does not feed him, nor he is kind with him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ, and does not encourage the feeding of the poor. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. In other surah, in Surah Al-Fajr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كَلَّا بَلْ لَا تُكْرِمُونَ الْيَتِيمِ وَلَا تَحَاضُّونَ or وَلَا تَحُضُّونَ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. The same. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Really, truly, this ayah is a scary ayah. When we read it, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. So, woe to those who pray. To those who, what? Pray. فَوَيْلٌ is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is threatening those who pray. Some of the ulama, they said, فَوَيْلٌ, al-wayl is a wad in Jahannam, is a river in Jahannam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is threatening those who perform as-salah. It is a scary ayah if we don't, of course, uh, know the real meaning of that. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ في ظاهرها فويل لكل المصلين. But we have to follow up and to continue the next ayah that is explaining who are المصلين here. فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. So who are heedless of their prayers, who are unmindful of their prayers. They are, this is one meaning. One meaning of الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون, which are those who are heedless, who are unmindful of their prayers. Meaning, when they are praying, they are not focusing, they are not concentrated, they don't have khushu', they are unmindful in their salah. Other meaning in this ayah, some of the ulama, they said, those who are always delaying their salah until the end of its time. They delay the time of their salah. Meaning they perform salah, but they perform their salah until the end of its time. For example, they pray Asr just before Maghrib, just few minutes before Maghrib. And they pray, for example, Salat al-Subh, Salat al-Fajr, few hours before Dhuhr, or few minutes before Dhuhr, and so on and so forth. So this is the second meaning. It may also refer to not fulfilling the pillars and the conditions of a salah and the required manner that we have to perform our salah with. Maybe this, maybe we don't, the meaning عن صلاتهم ساهون, those who do not fulfill the pillars and the conditions of the salah. And Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anh, and this is another meaning of this ayah, he said, this means the hypocrites who pray in public but do not pray in private. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala meant in this ayah the hypocrite, al-munafiqun, who pray in front of the people, but they never pray privately. They never pray when they are alone. These are some of the meanings, of course, of this great ayah. الذين هم يراءون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said after that, الذين هم يراءون, those who make show of their deeds. Those who do good deeds only to be seen. But, of course, الذين هم يراءون, here الذين هم they don't pray or they don't do any good deeds and unless people they are saying them. They make sure that they are making that in front of the people. But it doesn't mean that anyone who make good deeds and people then they see him, of course he is uh, among الذين هم يراؤون. Of course, whoever does good deeds only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the people come to know about it and he is pleased with that, then this is not considered showing off. This is, of course, النية ومحلها القلب, the good intention in their heart. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about our intentions. The last ayah, وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ, and they withhold assistance, the simple assistance. They refuse to give even the simplest aid to the others. وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. So these are, of course, some of the characteristics of al-فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Who are al-musallin? That are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is threatening them with al-wayl. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ, heedless and mindful in their prayers. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ, they making the show only to be seen in front of the people. وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ, they refuse to give the simplest aid. They refuse they withhold to the simple assistance. So this is briefly the meaning of this great surah. Now we start reciting this great surah, inshallah, and we mention the mistakes that we have to avoid. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. Now we start over and we recite by ayah, inshallah. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين. Here, be careful about تفخيم and ترقيق in the first word. أرأيت. Ra, the only heavy letter here is a ra. أرأيت. So we don't say أرأيت. We don't make الهمزات مفخمة as well. أرأيت الذي, الذال is different to zay. I always mention that. So we don't say الذي يكذب. الذي يكذب بالدين. بالدين, here الدا is different to ta. Don't say بالدين. بالدين. I repeat this ayah. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين. One more time. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين. The second ayah. فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم. فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم. Here, فذلك الذي, of course, is we have to pronounce الذال correctly. We don't say الذي, فذلك الذي. فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم. Here we have ayn, one of the letters of the throat, one of the letters that are coming out from the throat. And of course, these letters are difficult and hard for some people, non-Arabic people, to pronounce the letters of the throat. One of them is ayn. A is different to Hamza. We don't say فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ يَدُعُّ. And here it becomes even more difficult. Why? Because it is with shadda on it. It is with shadda. So يَدُعُّ. It is very, very, very harmful, or it's not harmful, but it's very difficult. It's hard to pronounce al-ayn al-mushaddada. But here we have to say يدع اليتيم. يدع. We make sure that the sound of the ayn is different to hamza. فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين. ولا يحض على طعام المسكين. Here ولا يحض. الضاد is different to the. We don't say ولا يحض. It's different to dal. We don't say ولا يحد. It's different to ta. We don't say ولا يحط على طعام المسكين. The correct way is to say ولا يحض. لا يحض. This is the correct way. على طعام المسكين. Here تفخيم and ترقيق. طاء على طاعة. The only heavy letter here is a طاء. على طعام المسكين. I repeat twice this ayah and then we move on. ولا يحض على طعام المسكين. ولا يحض على طعام المسكين. Next ayah. فويل للمصلين. فويل للمصلين. Here, of course, we have some rule that we have seen in nun sakina and the tanween that we have to implement. فويل للمصلين. Here we have tanween. فويل. And it is followed by lam, the letter lam. So what is the rule here? Tanween followed by a lam, one of the letters of yarmulun. Yarmulun are the letters of al-idgham. So we have to implement idgham. We have to merge النون التنوين here in the lam. So we say فويل للمصلين. Is it إدغام بغنة or بغير غنة? إدغام with غنة or without غنة? Of course, since it is lam, we know that a lam and the ra, we have to implement إدغام بغير غنة. So we don't make غنة here. We don't say فويل للمصلين. This is wrong. We have to say فويل للمصلين without غنة. Only merge the sound of the nun of tanween in a lam and move on. فويل للمصلين. One more time. فويل للمصلين. Next ayah. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. الذين, of course, this is different to الذين هم عن صلاتهم. Here we have nun sakina. So we have one rule of nun sakina and the tanween to implement. One of the 4 rules that we know. Which is the rule here? عن صلاتهم. To know the rule, I repeat again, we have to look at the following letter. The following letter here is Sad. A Sad does not belong to حروف الإظهار. Is not among همز هاء وعين حاء وغين خاء. And it is not among حروف الإدغام يرملون. And it is not ba to implement إقلاب with. So the conclusion that Asad is one of the letters of إخفاء, which are the 15 letters that we have seen today in our lesson of today. So we have to make إخفاء here. عن صلاتهم. We hide the sound of noon and we prepare our mouth to pronounce a Sad. Of course, al-ikhfa here should be heavy because a Sad that coming after it is heavy as well. So we say عن صلاتهم. عن صلاتهم. I repeat again. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. Next ayah. الذين هم يراءون. الذين هم يراءون. Here we have mad wajib. We have to extend, we have to prolong the sound of this mad. Yura'un, 4 counts. Of course, we don't know the rule here. Until now, we didn't learn the rules of al-mad. But for now, only keep in mind that in this word, we have to prolong, we have to make mad. Here, 4 counts. Yura'un, like this. يراءون. الذين هم يراءون. الذين هم يراءون. Last ayah. ويمنعون الماعون. ويمنعون الماعون. I think it is simple, this ayah, but the only thing الذين ويمنعون الماعون. Here you have the letter عين again, so make sure that the عين is coming from the throat. ويمنعون الماعون. We have 2 عين. ويمنعون الماعون. And we are done with our surah, inshallah. I'm going to recite again this surah and try to listen and to recite along with me, inshallah ta'ala. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. Inshallah, we move on to receiving your recitation, inshallah ta'ala. So whoever wants to recite and to get his recitation corrected, inshallah ta'ala. Let's start. So whoever wants to recite, please raise your hands. Bismillah. Our brother Muhammad Amin Akhtar.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب
أرأيت. Brother Muhammad, clear up الهمزة. أرأيت.
أرأيت أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين
Repeat again
فذلك
and don't say الذي. I said that الذي, the is different to z. الذي يكذب. Both of them are ذال here.
أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين
Great.
فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم
The same. فذلك الذي, the.
فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
Good, but be careful. Don't extend the sound of the meme here. We don't have غنة. Don't say ويمنعون الماعون. ويمنعون الماعون. Repeat it.
ويمنعون الماعون.
جزاك الله خير, Brother Muhammad. Allah reward you, inshallah. Okay, so we move on to our brother Arsalan. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sorry, just one second.
Okay, your voice has some echo on it.
Okay, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
MashaAllah, Brother Arsalan. Very good recitation. Jazakallahu khair.
Thank you.
MashaAllah. Your recitation is improving 1 week after the other. MashaAllah.
Thank
MashaAllah.
you. Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
You look like you are practicing a lot or you have something. So let's share with us the secret. MashaAllah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing the last juz a lot more, so.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. This is the only way. So let's share with others. So the only way to improve our recitation in the Quran is to practice a lot. Of course, to practice with the correct way, to try our best, to do our best to recite with the proper way, with the best way that we can. And finally, our recitation, inshallah, will be better and better. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for everybody who really wants, who really have the real intention, the pure intention for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to improve his recitation in reading the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakallah khair, Brother Arsalan. Okay, so we move on to Nuriya Rasuli.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين للمصلين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم
Don't say
ساهون
صلاتهم.
الذين هم عن صلاتهم
And
ساهون.
of course, now we have seen the rule of today is al-ikhfa. So try to implement al-ikhfa. الذين هم عن صلاتهم.
الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون.
Be careful. This is a major mistake to say صلاتهم. You are adding mad. You are adding ya maddiya after ta. It is not صلاتهم. This is a long vowel. But in the ayah, it is short vowel. صلاتهم. Tihim, like this. عن صلاتهم. Repeat it.
الذين هم عن صلاتهم
No,
ساهون.
صلاتهم. Tihim. Try to make it fast.
صلاتهم.
أيوة.
صلاتهم. Let me repeat it one more time. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون.
صلاتهم. Tihim. Keep practicing. No worry.
الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
MashaAllah. Jazakillah khair, Sister
so
Nuria. So keep practicing this word. صلاتهم. صلاتهم.
صلاتهم.
Tihim.
صلاتهم.
أيوة. Tihim. Remember this sound. Tihim. And
تهم.
practice it, inshallah, the whole week. And inshallah, see you next time. You recite to me, inshallah, this again.
Inshallah. Thank you.
We move to our Jamshid. Our brother Jamshid.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم
Brother
ساهون.
Jamshid,
Yeah.
apply al-ikhfa here. عن صلاتهم. The rule of today.
Okay. الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair. So for the sake of the time, we conclude with Sabira Gauri.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين.
يكذب بالدين. Bu is short vowel. يكذب بي.
يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم.
يدع اليتيم.
يدعو اليتيم.
It's not يدعو. يدع. So try to stay on the ayn a little bit. So you say يدع اليتيم.
يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم
الذين هم
يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Sabira. May Allah reward you all, inshallah ta'ala. And by this recitation, inshallah, we conclude our class of today. And inshallah, see you next Tuesday at the same time, 7:30 p.m., inshallah ta'ala. And until that time, inshallah, hope to see you then. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.